Will, do you know why I'm the greatest org player alive? Because I totally bluffed the shit out of you. Hey guys! Hi!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the StockWatch Survivor Now podcast. My name is William West, and here I have in my corner Jack Powell. Jack, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good! Hi, Will.
Hi,
It's good to see you.
Good
How
to
are
see
you
you.
doing?
Yeah.
That's it?
It's going. Yeah.
That's all you got to say?
Pretty upset with what happened in the last episode of Survivor. Not gonna lie. My fantasy team's not doing good. My Survivor fantasy team's not been doing good. So it's been a tough week for a tough season to be a Will West.
It's been rough for you, Will. You know, I gotta say, picking two quitters for your podcast, your fantasy draft, gotta feel real bad, especially week 4.
You know what
about that?
You know what, though? I mean, a lot of people, they come and go, they draft people, and they get winners, 1 out of 18 of the time. How many people can say they accurately drafted 2 quitters? That's pretty impressive. Like,
pretty good feat.
The odds are pretty low for that.
I am applauding you for that. Before we dive into this episode as a whole, unannounced sponsor of the episode, thank you, Idle Plays. I got my puzzle just about a week and a half ago. It's the Fire puzzle, the classic. It's Russell Muscle TV. He puts on some great products. I love the channel. I love everything he's doing. So go on, check out his channel. I'm sure we might have an ad for it at some point in the future. But puzzle's awesome. It's really hard, and it's taken me a lot of time to figure it out. But get it. Get it.
Buy that stock.
Buy that stock. Will,
yeah, Jack.
Your picks suck. Explain why.
So, I mean, do I need to explain why I drafted Hannah Rose again? I think we've all been for that story.
We could skip that.
So, Sean, for a while, right now, with the context that he quit episode 4, it makes a lot more sense why he got the edit. I was really hoping that he would get a Natalie White edit. Someone who doesn't maybe not win the game, but they're on the disaster tribe. Everything's being chaotic. Everyone's calling each other out, but no one ever mentioned Sean's name until this episode, where even in the beginning, it felt like a Sean boot, and everything leading up to it felt like Sean was going to get voted out, which makes his quit very questionable. I know a lot of people have been harboring on whether or not he threw in the towel because he knew he was going to get voted out anyways, how legitimate his claims are. I'm not here to say my opinion on that. What I am saying is that it happened. But, Kelly is still in the draft. And actually, Jack, I was looking at the stocks.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, but you ranked Kelly pretty high.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Listen, yeah, I agree with you. In my opinion, there was nobody else going home this episode. Probably a couple minutes in, I figured it was Sean. The way it happened, though, unfortunate. Yeah. However, I do think that this was a lot worse than Hannah's quit. Here's why. Hannah, to me, owned it. She said, I suck at this. I hate this. I want to go home. This is terrible.
Yeah.
And spoke the truth.
Yeah.
Jeff Probst, in his official By the Fire on Fire Survivor podcast, goes, I think Sean romanticized his quit.
Yeah.
And I 100% agree. He made it more than it had to be. He said, guys, I don't feel great. I miss my husband. I want to go home. Fine. Better than what we got, in my opinion. We got a lot of things unloaded onto us. And
Yeah.
I think Sean was really trying to find reasons to end up as kind of a hero out of this. And I mean, no disrespect to Sean as an individual, but
I
come on, man.
I don't see the problem is that he could have just gotten voted out and been like, I got my survivor journey. I got exactly what I wanted. I miss my husband. He could have been like, it's a good end to this journey. I understand, right? But instead, he tries to fall on the sword, which kind of had the exact opposite effect, where now everyone is villainizing Sean. I, and the problem is too, Hannah's quit was like a true quit. There's no question about it, right? Sean is now up in the air because there was a vote, and the vote wasn't 4-1. There was a stray vote, and that could have actual legitimate game implications on a vote that apparently would have been Sifu.
Yeah, it very much seemed to me that the vote would have been Sifu,
Yeah.
actually, if Sean did not pull that out. And we talked about Sean a lot on Lulu as being the best player, basically right up until the end of episode 3. In a way, he was. I think he was very under the radar. I think that it's a swap screw. It's a horrible way to get swap screwed, but you got to deal with the cards you were dealt. And in my opinion, Will, I think you're right. I think Sean stays. I think Sifu goes home. So I think he completely missed the mark. If he did actually want to go home, at that point he was like, I know I'm quitting. Just say, yeah, this has been really tough on me. I need to quit.
Yeah.
Easy as that.
Or just say like, hey, I understand I'm getting voted out and there's no more game left for me to play. Say that, and then also say, I miss my husband though. I got what I wanted. I feel like that would have made the vote out a lot better, because there's been times in the past where people are like, I understand where the cards are falling. It was unfortunate. I get it. We kind of saw that with Big Brother, where we saw a person leave with a lot of class. No spoilers for that. And I felt bad for Sean, because I also feel like this is going to be a mistake on his end that it's going to keep him up at night. He's going to toss and turn in about 10 years and be like, why did I quit? I shouldn't have.
And I think people are going to remind him of that. Listen, online community get very toxic. All I'd like to say is, regardless of Sean's decision and how he went about it, let's take it in a more analytical approach rather than a kind of he sucks, he's bad, he's terrible at this. I think it's best for us to be completely analytical about it, and we just have to kind of leave it at that. But you kind of see the difference here, kind of with the edit, but kind of not as well. While Sean and Caleb were the two Lulu members split on tribes where they were completely on their own, and they had no splits. It was 4 of an original tribe. It very clearly showed us that Caleb was ingratiating. He was doing a great job. He was being that social player that he is, whereas Sean wasn't seen as that. And my assumption is we saw it like that because of what happened at Tribal Council. If Sean stayed, he fought, and what probably would have happened, Sifu going home, we would have seen Sean being able to socially throw himself into the tribe.
And
absolutely.
Not just that, I feel like we would have seen more of Sean in the pre-swap. I think he would have been a bigger narrative. Maybe he would give more insight than what we saw, because he was the most quiet player, especially on such a losing tribe.
Yeah. Tribe with the most focus of any of the tribes. You get unreddited. It's always the kiss of death. And I called it from the beginning. He's not going far. He's not going to do that great. And Will, you agreed with me. Sorry for your draft pick, bud. But
hey, at least you're not winning.
I'm close. I think I'm in 3rd right now. I'm doing good.
It's so Yeah, we can go with that. We can say you're close. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho,
All right, let's get to Bello. Obviously, on paper, the most interesting tribe. Maybe not in practice, though. In my opinion, I think this is the second most interesting tribe, right in the middle. Um, on paper, dynamics are perfect. Two from one tribe, two from one tribe, one from the final tribe. You've got a 2-2-1 dynamic. You're pulling for that middle vote. It's a lot of hectics. It's a lot of strategy being thrown out there. And if you're a truly, truly good Survivor player, you get to navigate that. I think Austin, I think the same. I don't think anything different. You see fives for me across the board. I think
Yeah.
he's going to do fine. I don't think he has really any problems at the moment. I don't think he's in any danger. I think he's going to ride his way to the finale and probably get like fifth or fourth or maybe sixth or something like that. But as of right now, I think he's going to end up on the right side of the votes with Drew and Emily.
Yeah.
Should they go to tribal council in this the swap phase?
Yeah, this is a really interesting dynamic because I feel like they're going to kind of take up the new Reba. I mean, I'm wrong with who I think goes to tribal, as I was in episode 3, but I really think that this Bello tribe will make the long haul, and if they go to tribal council, I do not see Austin going. I think he's just too sociable. He has just enough screen time because he's the golden boy. He's the Jonathan. He's the Malcolm. He's the Ozzy diet version, but he's doing good, and he made a new connection with Emily, and I feel like he's more personable than Drew. I feel like whenever Drew and Austin as a pair get in trouble, I feel like more of the blame is on Drew than Austin.
Yes.
Who knows?
And that's why I see, I agree. That's why I see Austin having more longevity out of that. I think Drew, I think he might, we originally thought fall from grace in the pre-merge. Depending on the level of insulation, he might go until like mid-merge. He might be a final 8 type of boot. But Austin, I think he's fine. You don't got to worry about Austin.
Nope.
Just keep on picking him, keep on buying him. He's got an idol. You'll be
They're good. Just
skip. On the other hand, you got someone who is in a big problem spot. This is with the other Bello member on this tribe as well. But man, when you are not.
Anywho,
ignore the honking.
our apologies.
Our sincerest apologies. When you are under-edited in a swap episode, especially on a tribe that on paper matters so much that you get that crucial number, you're done. In my opinion, you're done. And in my opinion, because of the depth of content Kendra has gotten compared to Brando, I think Brando is out. I think personally, gonna take a long shot. I think if Bello goes to tribal, Brando is gone.
I agree. I don't think Bello goes. I think Brando could be the not merge, the merge weird boot. Murgatory. I could see him being that at the most, but the problem is that Brandon, he was never as tight to Kendra as he was with a lot of the other people. He kind of just, had that mutual friend in Kelly. And so if Brando would have made it farther, we would have seen him and how he would have navigated this swap. He would have been like, I have no numbers right now. I'm outnumbered. It's 2-2-1. Let's see how I can navigate this. But we didn't. So I'm very worried with Brando. And it's a pretty steep drop from just 2 episodes ago. And
2 episodes ago, I think he was right in the middle well. We didn't need much. We just needed enough. If he continued that, it'd be good. At this rate, I think he's drawing dead, and I wouldn't be surprised with him going relatively soon. You're right. He lost Kelly, which was his true number one. And he got Kendra, and I don't personally know how much Kendra will do. I think this whole setup of the dynamic, which we'll get to soon with Emily, is between old Reba and old Billow.
Yep.
Right now, I don't think it's a contest. I think Emily's going with old Reba, and with that comes Drew.
Drew is weird. Drew is he's because on one hand, I feel like Drew could make it super far. But on the other hand, I do not see him winning the game at all. And on the third hand, because I have 4 hands apparently, I feel like we could see Drew going after Brando. Because I feel like we're setting up for a Drew downfall. There's no question about that. There's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of when. And so I'm afraid to put him at the very bottom of the rankings because I do see a little bit of longevity. I do think he survives next episode, maybe the one after, maybe even makes it to the early merge. It's just I do not see Drew going further than that. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I personally, I think here's the interesting thing I'm going to talk about with Drew. Often at this point in the season, like right after a swap or as we're starting to gear up towards the merge, I'm thinking, okay, based on every dynamic so far, what are the merge alliances going to be? To me, it's very clear that it's going to be a Reba versus Bello kind of deal. It's going to be that. It's the matter of who defects from that and who joins whose side. Here's what I think is going to happen. And you can totally call my bluff on this. That 4-person Reba alliance is sticking together. Drew called it out. He wants to stick with them. I think they're sticking together. I think they're locked. I think because of the dynamics and the way Emily was kind of shown talking to them, I think Emily's going to join that, and Emily's going to be part of that. And then with that, this is the real long shot. I have Katura going with that alliance and making it a 6, but we'll get there. Just put that on the burner right now. Put that on the burner.
So I'll interject, and I'll say I think that's the dynamics very early on in the merge. I do think though that this game is going to be a lot more fluid. I think the Reba 4 will lose a member or maybe 2. Maybe Drew goes early merge, right? And it kind of breaks that dynamic a little bit. I just don't see Emily. We'll get to Emily in a second, but I still think that Emily still has that little bit of villain in her where she is not a villain by personality like we saw in the premiere, but more transactional as a player, making deals, breaking deals, and not being afraid to get her hands dirty. And so I see her going with the Reba 4 early merge. I do think, though, that she'll be one of the first people to defect from the Reba 4 Onion Alliance.
Sure,
and maybe the reason why Drew gets voted out. Speaking of Emily.
I want to hear your thoughts on where I think Emily's going to end up. You said I was stupid last season for believing this. I think Emily is going to be 4th place. Yeah, it's not because of the fire. It's not because of the fire. It's not because of the little graphic I saw with the fire. It's not simple. I personally think we are getting a different version of the dragon this season. I think we are getting. Let's talk about the dragon. Let's talk about the 4th place edit. Besides Heather, who was very underedited, and also besides Jonathan, who was pretty kind of edited negatively.
I feel like, though, besides Jonathan, I think Omer was just that spot.
Yeah, we could say Omer. Yeah. But in terms of traditional 4th place dragon, Jesse and Carson, easy, right? Jesse, overwhelmingly positive, coronation edit, 4th place. Carson, playing the best game, pretty good edit, 4th place. I think Emily is a twist on that, and that is my opinion. I will dissent if you disagree, but in my opinion, her edit is kind of a rags to riches story where she comes from nothing, goes to something, and then falls right at the foot of the summit. Either that or she's winning, but I think her winning is just so obvious I
Yeah.
really don't want to say it just yet. But right now, I really think it's the dragon ended for her.
So I agree. I feel like I've said this, maybe not on the podcast, but I do not see Emily as the winner just because I feel like her story is too obvious. Again, Jeff Probst, I say this every podcast. He's not the biggest fan of this season, and maybe it's because there's 2 quitters. But I also feel like how a season ends matters way more to Jeff than the pre-merge. I mean, we had an injury and someone pulling themselves out of the game from an injury last season, and Probst spoke so highly because of the storyline of the Ticket 3. I feel like had Emily won this season, then Probst and production, they'd be like, this is one of the greatest seasons of the new era, maybe the greatest,
Yep.
But we didn't get that. And I feel like Emily's going to have a very good, a very big impact on the season. I still think that Emily is not a hero. And I know everyone is like, oh, Emily has like this really cool character arc, and it's only episode 4. But I feel like once the merge hits, we're going to see a new Emily, an Emily who is aware socially, aware emotionally, builds actual connections with people, but willing to play the game, willing to make blind sides and stab people's backs. And I think that will make her the biggest threat, and she'll get voted out at 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think she has a lot of longevity in her edit, and I agree. I don't think we've seen the last of villain Emily. Maybe the whole I can't connect with people, that's gone. I think she can connect with people, but I think that whole transactional nature of I'm going to throw you to the side when I need to throw you to the side.
Yep.
I think that could very easily come back into play. And I think that'll actually benefit Emily in a way, but it will make her a big target. But
It will.
I think she's doing good. She's doing fine.
Yep.
And then I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Kendra, what happened? Got nothing in the edit. I was really rooting for you with episode 3. I thought you were on an upwards trajectory, and then bam. I would be scared for my draft picks. Holy cow! If Kendra was in Brando's spot with the edit, however, she's not. And while I'm bumping her down a lot from this episode, I'm not saying she's screwed.
No.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not saying she's donezo. She's got time. She may lose Brento. She may lose some legs, but she'll build herself back up.
She still has Kelly and Katora, though. I think Kendra's making the merge. I think she is in a very tenuous spot right now, but this might be the worst position she'll be in for a long time. And as long as she can stick it out, maybe throw Brando under the bus or whatever, or maybe like it's revealed that she does work on Emily, and then Emily's like, wait, I have to stab like Drew in the back. Maybe having that storyline if the swap lasts for a long time, but that's kind of like more than a crackpot theory. I'm not completely done on Kendra. I think it's a bit of a drop. She's in a very bad spot right now, but her drop isn't as steep going from 3rd to 5th than it is with you from her going from 2nd to 7th.
Yeah, absolutely. I my drop is steep, but we'll get to the stocks later. But as of right now, keep it, hold on to it.
Yeah,
I think Kendra is going to make the merge. I think you'll be fine. Just wait on it, sit on it, and then we will see what happens when we get to the merge. We'll reassess.
Yep.
Moving on. My personal favorite tribe in terms of dynamics is Lulu, because it's not about can Caleb stay. It's about what's going to happen with Katura and Bruce. Yeah, I see your buff. Because Bruce, the returning player, the living legend, and Katura, my episode 1 winner pick.
Mine too.
We saw a mixed episode for Bruce. He got a very, very positive segment, reminiscing about Tika. And I think that's the one kind of hidden benefit we haven't seen of returning players in the new era.
Yeah.
Coming back to that beach, coming back to the beach where they experience something, like Shan going back to Ua and remembering all the memories. Like, we haven't seen that yet because we haven't had returning players. And so it's a glimpse into what we could get with returning players. And it was just nice to see Bruce kind of reminisce about how his evacuation kind of humbled him. It was nice seeing some positivity.
Yeah.
And then Katura totally dunked on him in all her confessions. But overall, not as bad as completely gone from the edit or just always over the top negative.
Yeah, so the problem with Bruce is that it's still not the most amount of game. It's mostly just like, hey, I was on Tika, remember guys? I was there. But it's enough to where it's like Bruce is still in the limelight and he's still a part of the narrative. So I don't think he's completely out of the picture. I do think though I have him so low because I think other people just had a better edit, and so he's just relegated back to that bottom of the barrel, position. But honestly, this might be controversial, and we'll get to Katora later. Maybe this tribe survive. Maybe Bruce survives a tribal council if Lulu goes back. I don't know.
I actually think you're right. In
Yeah.
my opinion, while Katura is kind of given a little bit of the edit credit from this whole kind of mostly one-sided kind of deal, Bruce is the better insulated player. I think Bruce and Jake are lockstep. Kelly built something with them, and so Kelly's covered. Caleb's just going to go where he needs to go.
Yeah.
Man, Katura's on the bottom.
Yeah.
I think Katura, I think you're right. I think, unfortunately, they go to tribal. It's bye-bye to one of my picks. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Now
want
you
to
know how it feels. Now you know how it feels.
Oh, come on. Simmer down.
Okay.
Jake, pleasant surprise. He's been doing pretty well these past few episodes. I think Falling in Smoke has definitely helped him out a little bit. Little bit of reverse scooping effect. Doing good with that.
Oh God.
Jake's had another great episode. Got to really kind of outline his decision making just a little bit, just enough. I think if anything, out of everybody from my supposed early merge kind of alliance, if Jake's a part of that Bello alliance, right? That OG Bello minus Katura plus Caleb alliance, I think Jake makes it probably the farthest out of all of them. Maybe Jake or Kendra. I think Jake does. I think Jake's got a good way of being social. I think he's kind of rebounded from the whole, oh yeah, I'm a lawyer, we gotta get him. I think he's rebounded from that. And I think he's in a great spot on this tribe.
Yeah.
Will that carry? Not sure. He's in a great spot on this tribe.
So I have a crackpot theory.
Here we go.
I think Jake makes it to 5th place. I feel like 5th place it's not the most gamey position, right? Like, but it's a very respectable place, I think Lauren got 5th place in 44, right? It was her gamey.
Yeah, let's go over it. It's Lauren, it is Carla, it is Lindsay, and it is Ricard. That's a really, really good lineup.
And I feel like Jake has been getting enough screen time to where I think there is a little bit of longevity. There's some of him wanting to play the game. It's just not enough for him to be the winner. And I think that's a pretty I don't know. I think Jake's going to be in a very respectable spot. And maybe like every once in a while he pops up on some guy's Reddit second chance ballot. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see a win out of Jake. However, I do think over the past few episodes, he's kind of built up his longevity. And I think he's going to be pretty stable going forward. One of my draft picks. Going to do well.
Ooh.
I like it. Chris, says Jake could even be a losing finalist. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we see like an Owen kind of edit, it's kind of Charlie Brown-ish.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I can see that. I see longevity now,
I do too.
especially.
Yep.
So yeah. So he's not 12 anymore. What happened? Well, it was always tough with Caleb because you knew he was going to have a good edit. You knew he was going to be good at the game. You just didn't know how far he was going to get. Would the luck run out? Right now, it's not.
No.
I think Caleb is fine if this tribe goes to tribal council. I still don't see him going that far. I really can't see people taking him a lot farther than early merge. Honestly, I'd be surprised. I love Caleb. He is one of my favorites this season for sure. What is it? That was like a Kawhi Leonard reference in the episode. That was awesome. Yeah, he's awesome. But in terms of longevity, it's tough. It's tough to gauge. I don't think he wins. I don't think he goes out pre-merge anymore. I've kept it early merge. Maybe makes a little bit farther. I think that's where I'm at. And I don't think I'm going to budge, honestly, anymore. I think he's right at this level.
I feel like we're setting up for Caleb to just be nice and easy, but then when his time comes, we're going to get like an episode downfall. It's not going to be slow burning like Drew or Katora. It's going to be more, all of a sudden something goes awry and then Caleb just gets sniped out of nowhere. And I think that's how Caleb will leave the game. I do want Caleb to stay as long as possible, though. I genuinely like his presence on the season. And I like how he's kind of like the one normal Lulu member because, we said that about Sean, but then Sean, got some screen time. And now it's Caleb. Right?
Sean got in the edit a little bit, and now Caleb's going to be normal.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Emily will not be normal.
Yeah. I personally think if there ever were a returnee season in the new era, I think, honestly, besides Emily, the first person on that is Caleb. I think it's a lock it down. Emily, Caleb, returnees for a new era season instantly. And I hope that grows. I don't see him winning, but I hope it grows.
He can win All-Stars.
He could. I'm so upset.
How the mighty have fallen.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But not counting her out. Yeah. I said a couple episodes ago, I was like, all right, look, I get it. You're talking about Bruce. You don't like Bruce. Whatever. Bruce looked like a ding-dong. Let it be.
Yeah.
And then we saw it again. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And then this episode, we saw it again.
Yeah.
Obviously, her and Bruce are going to be important, right?
Yep.
Here's where I think a lot of fans are going to be incorrect, unfortunately. I think, well, obviously, if Katura loses the battle against Bruce, she's going home. So that's not a question. Yep. A lot of people think that if Katura wins the battle against Bruce, she's going to win the game. I disagree.
No.
When somebody completes their arc, there's only a matter of time before they're gone, right? If an arc is completed before the last episode, you will be voted out. I think Bruce, I don't think he's making it that far. I think Katura may win the battle, but I do not think, unfortunately, that she will win anymore. She had such a perfect premiere.
Yep.
And now it's just lost on me. But I'm not counting her out. This is not me giving up. She's one of my draft picks. I will not
so that's
give up.
why. Yeah,
She
like
is,
how I had Sean so high too. Yeah.
So my top 4 contenders, I have them. Next episode will be top 3. But Couture is that one pick that I'm like, keep it on the back burner. Wait. Let it see. Hopefully, it gets better soon. Better days are ahead. Otherwise, it's rough for Couture fans out here. But, Will, let's go ahead.
My problem with Couture winning is that we know that her rivalry with Bruce isn't the only thing she's doing out there on Fiji, right? There is a lot of game that she's doing, a lot of conversations she's having that we are not seeing. And her edit is just way too negative on Bruce for me to think that she wins, right? Because how many winners are like so negative and so focused on just bashing another player, right? It's like, Yam Yam had a lot, or Jam Jam had a lot of beef with Josh, but there, as much beef with Josh there was a lot more of his personal life and then his strategy. And I feel like that's a much more well-balanced edit than what Couture is having right now. And it sucks because I do really like her presence. I do think she is a very good strategist. And I think that she's making a lot of correct decisions and conversations that we are not privy to. And for that reason, I'm very worried about Couture. But she's not out. She's not out.
Don't think she's out. We do hear her only talking about Bruce. Chris, you're right. I'm hoping that changes. But if it continues to be about Bruce, that will be her arc. And once Bruce goes home, probably, I think, once Bruce goes home, Couture will follow soon after, which is unfortunate. But
or hear me out. Couture goes in the swap. Bruce is a losing finalist. Are we too crackpot?
Where did you get that from? Where'd you get that idea from?
I have mentioned on one of these podcasts, I cannot remember with the episode, that I said that Bruce could be a losing finalist.
Okay.
So it's not unfounded.
In relation to the Couture thing, I was like, I've never heard it that way before. But
like
Bruce
his edit.
Finalist? Yeah, I get that. I don't mind that point.
Woo! Catching dubs in the Survivor Now StockWatch. Almost
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
So, why is Kelly ranked at number 1 for us? Now, Kelly has been getting the most balanced edit, right? She gets placed on this new tribe where numbers are very, not pivotal, right? She should be in a very tenuous spot because it's 2-2-1, right?
No, she's 4-1.
4-1. I'm always wrong. Anywho, but the way the dynamics are on this tribe is 3-1-1, right? Because there was that alliance with Bruce, Jake, and Kelly that we saw that I never really gave much stock into. I just thought, hey, this is another alliance that Kelly is in. She's just playing the middle. But now we're seeing it pay off, right? And this is part of why I think Couture might go out in the swap, because Kelly, her whole edit has been about how she can get along with just about any single person. She's able to get along with Kendra, someone who's very open and someone very out there personality wise. She's getting along well with Bruce, who is just like this old man, old uncle, getting along with Jake in that alliance. I feel like, and then now we saw the new bond forming between Kelly, Bruce, and Caleb. She's always in that pivotal seat. She's always in the flow of information, but not enough content is about her negatively or positively. And I feel like she is a sleeper pick, a dark horse, and under the radar winner. Lock it in. That's my crackpot theory.
Disagree. I'm not disagree.
She wins.
She's number 1 for me out of circumstance, out of pure respect. However, I've been simmering on this. I don't think it's new era-y enough. Even with an under-the-radar female winner, or under-the-radar winner in general, let's just throw it there. Under-the-radar winner in general, this is not new era-y enough for me to say, yeah, Kelly's gonna win. We would see Erica, right? Like Erica's that example. Erica's the example of under the radar edit for a new era winner, right? We would see a story at some point. Besides, I'm in a fantastic position. no offense to that, good on her for probably playing the strongest game right now. But
Yeah,
in my opinion, I don't think it's enough. And right now she's number one. I'm not saying she's going to win the game. I'm not saying
but
it.
here's the thing though. She hasn't gone to tribal yet. There's been the fact that we're seeing enough of her game despite not going to tribal. If we saw a lot of her game, I'd feel like we're getting another Drew, someone who's overplaying their hand, someone we're about to get a downfall. And I feel like the main takeaway with analyzing edits in Survivor New Era is that anything is possible, right? Because we had someone like Erica win, right, who was pretty under the radar, someone no one was expecting until like the final 8. And then we had Mary Ann, who just had a story, a very standard winner. But then right after we had Gabler, right, who was unlike anything else we've seen before. And so I don't know. I disagree. I think Kelly's problem is maybe she's too one-dimensional. Maybe she's too boring of a character. But that's not a bad thing if you have $1 million. So
No, it's not. I don't think it is. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I just think based on everything else we've received in the new era and this whole new kind of take on storytelling, is she really as integral as we're thinking? That's all I'm going to say.
Again, though, I feel like if she wasn't integral, then we wouldn't see anything of her because she is pretty boring of a character. She's not the best narrator. Every time we see her, it's just, I'm in a good spot. I can bond with anyone. And I think maybe once the merge hits, we'll see more of Kelly and more of her thought process and game because I don't think she's not in a bad position and she's not going to tribal council. So
No, she's not in a bad position at all. I think she's going to do just fine. Since you've put her at number one for 3 episodes straight, and I just put her at number one. So I'm weary. It's too easy. You know what I mean? It's too cookie cutter. Wrap it up. Kelly's winning. See you at 46.
But that's how I feel about some of the other people, and I'm very proactive about how of that, right? Like last season, I never counted Carson as high. I think someone like D, I have her ranked lower than Kelly. Spoilers, I know, crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get to that. Go ahead.
Oh, you seem a little upset, Jack. I think the problem is that you're seeing how correct and how great my reads are, and you're bitter because you're not saying these reads. No, I have D at number 2 because I think she could be number 1, but it's just to me it's too obvious because we're getting a lot of content about her and just how perceptive she is, right? She's very aware of the things around her, and at this point on the swap, she is in the power structure. She's at the core of the Reba. She pretty much decided whether or not it was Sean or Sifu before Sean quit the game, right? And that is a position that both her and Julie are in. Shout out to Julie. And I feel like despite she had a slight misstep, this episode or, last episode with voting for Sifu, despite Sean quite literally asking to get voted out, I don't know. I still think that she is going to be in a great spot and then maybe voted out at like the 6. Lock it in. What do you think?
That sucks because Dio is my winner. Picked the past 2 episodes. This episode, a little bit of a fall, and I think it comes with Sean voting D. Why? Why do that? I think. Hear me out. I think Sean was just trying to cause a little bit of chaos, a little bit of mayhem, stir up some stuff, put a target on D. That concerns me. Now, often what we've seen is if you get a vote in the pre-merge of hey, watch out, you're a target.
Yeah.
Turns out you do pretty well and you're going to do fine. I think D's going to do just fine. My concern is I think it's I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
too fine. It's too fine. That's my thing. It's too good. She's getting too good of an edit. She's getting the Drew episode 1 edit because of how Drew was almost too good, too cookie cutter. That's my concern, especially in new era Survivor. She could be the Austin Final 6 kind of vote, like how Shan was and Noel, and that kind of group could be D. Who knows?
It could be. I do think D will ride her loyalties far. I think D will absolutely ride her alliance as far as she can get. Uh, Hopefully, it turns out well for her. But for now, a little bit of a slip, but I think she's doing okay. Hi, Jay Maya. Nice to meet you.
Hi,
Jay came alive this episode. 3 confessionals. Pretty,
That's wow.
wow, that's the bar. And she surpassed the bar.
She's a lawyer?
Get out. Everyone's a lawyer this season. Jay was all about keeping Sean this episode. And in my opinion, she actually had it. She actually had the vote.
Yep.
Sean would have stayed for sure. I think if Sean did not quit. And this is the kind of interesting thing with this tribe. Because in my humble opinion, D, Julie, and Sifu should have gotten rid of Jay Maya. Hear me out. Jay, Maya, and Sean were going to be a 2 until Sean quit. Like, right? Like, they were going to be a 2.
Yep.
You lose again. You lose the next tribal council. Okay. Let's now get rid of Sean. We still need Sifu around for challenges. He can be an easy target come the Murgatory or come early merge. You lose again, you get rid of Sifu. Because Sifu will stay loyal to your D and Julie alliance, whereas Jay was already trying to hop ship. My opinion is cleanest vote without a quit. You get rid of Jay Maya first. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I feel like if Reba goes to tribal council again, it's going to be a lot of is it Jay or is it Sifu? It's going to be a lot of the do we want to keep a number and get rid of a challenge guy or get rid of a challenge beast, whatever. I think in my heart of hearts that next episode we're going to see D just throw Jay under a Mack truck. Just be like, Sifu, I never voted for you. It was all Jay Maya. And I think that can keep D afloat. Jay Maya was kind of a non-factor anyways. And it's really unfortunate how her only bit of screen time this episode was wanting to keep someone who ended up quitting. It makes me worried about her longevity, and I do not see her making it that far.
Yeah. I'm going to say I don't think we saw her going far anyway. I think there's nothing in the edit, and there wasn't really anything to grasp onto here. My opinion, she goes soon, real soon, like next couple episodes soon.
Maybe next episode.
Yeah, maybe next episode, maybe. But I think this was just kind of the kickstart to her. I'm getting voted out edit, and it sucks. Again, that sucks. But what are you gonna do? You get edited that way. Can't do anything.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, I had Julie as my almost bottom of the barrel. Right. I had Julie nearly dead last. And now I have her at number 2 from number 7. I think she's gonna make it to the finale. I do. She is, to me, while D is very perceptive, Austin's very good at finding advantages. Drew is very good at finding advantages. Julie is the reasonable, logical one out of this group.
Yep.
In my opinion, she was the safest person on that Reba swap tribe the instant it was made. I don't think she's getting voted out in the pre-merge. I don't think she's getting voted out early merge. I think she's going to make it to the end of the game.
Yep.
I've said it.
Maybe a losing finalist. Definitely a losing finalist.
You think so? You think
think
losing
so.
finalist for sure? Okay.
I think so. I think there's a few people I could see as a losing finalist. I think Julie's problem wouldn't be that her game sucked. It would be she's just with someone who's better because, older lady, probably pegged as not a good challenge guy. And so I could see her kind of coasting her way through. I do agree she's in the best spot. I think D is kind of the more strategic side and Julie's the more social. I think she's just more easygoing and it's easy for people to connect to her. But I think she's in a really, really, really good spot and will be for a good long time and maybe good enough to make it to the final tribal council. I also think too, she might not be as cutthroat as like the rest of the cast. What do you think?
Okay, so my question, we're going to go off the assumption that your finalist picks are right. Maybe. Julie and Bruce.
And Kelly.
So you think Kelly's going to win out of that three?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think the final three will be Bruce, Julie, and Kelly. I think it's just going to be one of those three. I think Kelly's going to win. Maybe Kelly, Julie, depending. It's so hard to say because we don't know how the merge is right now. We're just going off of the pre-merge and the dynamics there because I don't know how like Kelly is responding to Sifu, or how Emily is with J Maya, Yeah. My favorite final two.
I understand.
No, you don't.
And now we get to the last pick.
What up, Sifu?
Sifu! Sifu's going to be last till he goes home. I've said it. There's not much to his edit. He's just over the top. I don't see longevity. He reminds me a little bit in terms of not in terms of personality. Vastly different, like opposite ends of the spectrum different. In terms of how his game is being portrayed, to me, I get JP vibes from Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers.
That's such a weird. That's
so weird. But am I wrong? JP was kind of seen as a little bit of a goof, a little bit of a moron on his swap tribe in 35. And he was kind of contested towards the end of that swap. He was kind of like, do we get rid of the big physical threat in JP? Do we get rid of him? Meanwhile, JP wasn't a strategist at all, was pretty not smart. And while I'm not insulting his nor Sifu's intelligence, Sifu is in the next Tony Vlachos. Let's just put that there.
I think in terms of placement, I think I do see some parallels with him and oddly enough Roxroy from 42.
You've been making that connection a lot.
It's because all of Sifu has just been personality based. I think we're going to warm up to Sifu. He's going to get like that default Voda edit where we're going to get a lot of personality from Sifu. He's going to open up about his tragic backstory because a guy like Sifu, he has to be hiding some skeletons in his closet. And all of America is going to cry for Sifu, and then we're going to watch Sifu get voted out. I do see a little bit of longevity. I think if J Maya gets thrown under the bus, and if Julie and D want to side with Sifu just because of challenges, I could see him making early merge, but like no farther than like second merge boot, if that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty small. I think we're gonna get a good backstory from him. Maybe not the intro package. We haven't got those.
Thank God.
This season. very, very good. But yeah, I could very easily see just early merge. He gets a pretty decent send off because he is a character. And yeah, that's really all you can say. So now we get to the stocks.
Yeah, the reason why you clicked on the video, 55 minutes in, baby.
Yeah! Here we go. Rapid fire.
Go.
Julie, great series. Bye, bye, bye. She's doing great. Bye, 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 bye. Backstreet Boys. She's doing really great. We have Kelly, Emily, Jake, Caleb, and Bruce as a bye. Bruce is the interesting one because he's been doing pretty bad. But for now, it's a light bye.
Yeah.
Everybody else doing good. Kelly especially, unfortunately for me, compared to Will. Emily doing great. Jake doing great as well. Keep that up. For stays, I have D, Austin, Kendra, Drew. D, I don't think this episode was enough to put her down or sell her in any way. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Austin, always keep it or just buy more. Doesn't matter. Kendra, not bad enough to warrant sell from that. And Drew, not bad enough. A sell with Katura. A light sell.
Light sell.
I don't count her out. We've been saying that. Don't count her out. But, it wasn't great. It hasn't been great. Get rid of it now is Brando.
Brando.
I think Brando personally is going home next episode or the following. I think that tribe could lose. They may. I don't think he has a lot of longevity at all. I think he's going home very soon. Get rid of it now if you have any. And then I have Jay and Sifu at Why Do You Have It? We've come to the point. Episode 4 in the season. It's been long enough. If you have it, why? Just get rid of it. It's not worth having. Will, what are your thoughts on
it? Their stocks. Never been a Wall Street guy. No, I mean, I agree on pretty much all of them. If you're new and don't know what all these numbers mean, they're basically the average placements or average rankings between me and Jack. The only thing of note is that Drew and Caleb are tied with the ranking, but like, who cares? But yet I feel really bad for Brando, Jay Maya, and Sifu because I just hate when people get dogged on in Survivor. But unfortunately, they're kind of there with narrative. Kelly, I'm sitting on a whole bunch of Kelly stock. And I'm really happy right now. I'm feeling rich. Like I just sold GameStop stocks or Bitcoin. It's pretty much that. I am the Wolf of Wall Street. I am the Wolf, and Jack is the Wall Street.
Let's get to the edge.
Yay!
Any standouts for you, edgically? You see anything you like, dislike?
I dislike Kendra and Brando as under the radar one. That just scares me. There's nothing I disagree with on this. It's more of like I don't like when people are under edited. RIP to Sean though for getting under the radar 2, middle of the road 2, under the radar 2, and finally getting screen time for the wrong reason.
And then quitting.
And then Anywho.
All right. Wow. Yeah. No. I think obviously the most glowing is Caleb overall, but it's paper versus practice for me. I think the one to watch out for, edit wise. I mean, Kelly's obviously looks great. I would watch out for Jake's edit. I think Jake's got a good turnaround. I think we've seen negative premieres kind of flipped on its head, and people get a little bit better as it kind of goes on. So, watch for that.
Yeah, the only issue is that it's similar to Emily's, but Emily's is just a little too obvious, a little too on the nose. She's just too visible, and it quite frankly makes me scared. So yeah.
Oh, well. That's going to do it.
That will
But
do it.
before we go, we have a question. If the Survivor Now team was out playing the game of Survivor together, who would do the most farts on the island?
Randy.
It would be Randy.
It would be Randy.
It would absolutely be Randy. There's no question in my mind. I don't think there's a question in Will's mind. Will?
No. I do have a question. If we all were on the island, who would have the most tragic vote out?
Oh, gotta be me. Gotta be me.
Bro, you're the one guy everyone loves to hate. Come on, Jack.
What do you mean? That's not
Bro,
that's not right. That's not true.
What do you mean it's not true? Like
That's
I
not
saw
true
how
at
you were.
all.
Bro, you're stay mad.
Stay mad.
Stay
Oh
mad.
no. I don't want to hear it. Anywho. Well, that is gonna do it.
That will
This
do
has
it.
been the stocks.
This has been all of the stocks.
Do you have any final words before I end your misery?
And my misery, Jack, you still got a whole season with me, Buster. Make sure you go check out the other shows, though. There's got something for you. There's Survivor Social, there's Survivor Now recap. And then there's also the Big Brother recap. Big Brother's still on. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
Final
7.
I thought it was final 16.
Actually, it's final 17 because there's a new house guest, Sari Fields.
Cerie's playing.
Sari, I know, and her son. Apparently,
That's
there is a pair.
That seems rigged.
Yeah,
that seems right.
Wait until you find out more.
Oh, well, this has been great. Thank you all for watching. We will see you all next Friday.